Hey guys, Spanketh here. In my last video I talked about my main condition and some of the struggles that came with it. In this video I will go over some of the other EDS related struggles, and I also want to go over what has helped me minimize my pain, the fatigue, or at least made the symptoms that much more manageable and tolerable. I hope that what has or does help me will hopefully help others as well. I also want to encourage others to be your own advocate by sharing my struggles with doctors and getting treatments. I hope it helps you become your own advocate. So now let's talk about things that has helped me personally with either my joints or my health issues that I have, like nerves and such. So for joints, obviously bracers, the KT tape or stuff like that can help. But exercise, at least in my experience and from my doctors, is going to be your best bet there, as it is for me personally. And you can use KT tape as well. I know it has helped me when working my joints. Compression gear, in my opinion, is an amazing thing to use, and there are lots of body parts these cover. Compression gear also helps with my nerves too, so for me it's a win-win. These I use in times only where my joints or nerves are like flaring up or just extra painful that day. Otherwise, I don't wear them full time, and you shouldn't really wear them full time. It's not good long term, but in the moments that you need them, it's great. I also use a weighted blanket, and let me tell you, a total game changer for me. I use this every night, and it helps my joints and helps keep my arms still, because I often in the past woke up with dislocated shoulders, and this has helped keep me in one position. And I also love these blankets because sometimes I'll wake up and one arm is completely numb to the point where I can't even tell my body to physically move it. I just have to wait for it to self-correct, basically. So the weight from the blanket helps keep it in a fixed position where this won't happen as often. One last thing I want to bring up for this is with my fibromyalgia. My skin and nerves are fairly sensitive to like touch and just a lot of things. It's sensitive to. And so while this may sound really simple or dumb, but for me personally, especially with the nerve and the skin sensitivity, wearing loose or comfy clothes has been just an amazing help for me, because it just makes it easier for me to handle that stuff. Because the best way I can really explain how it feels, it's kind of like a sensory overload, where all my nerves feel like they caught on fire and are just going haywire. It's almost like when you see something that makes you cringe or gives you the heebie-jeebies, but it's way more intensified than just that. That's really the best way I can think of to explain it. But there are many times I can't even wear like my watch because it's just too much for me to handle. Sometimes vibrations can trigger my nerves, like when I'm driving and the steering wheel is shaking. It stinks big time, but it happens, and you just have to deal with it. Now, food. This is another way that I and you can help your body. Your diet is another big part of helping your body. Now, for me, I have tried many diets over these past 5 years. Most didn't show enough health improvement for me to keep doing it. Um, it was not until January of last year, actually, that I tried out being vegan or vegetarian. I never really tried it before because I, like probably most people, hear vegan and think you're just eating raw veggies and such. That's what I thought, which is not the case at all, by the way. But I have noticed a pretty good improvement after a couple of months of being vegan. Um, Now, I'll say I do still enjoy some dairy, even though I shouldn't because I feel it when I do. But I mean, come on, pizza. Pizza's not the same without the cheese, and pizza is life. Am I right? Um, I just want to note, though, that I am still not perfect with my diet. I still enjoy too many sugary foods. But when you are in pain fairly consistently and a good deal of pain, you want or need like a comfort item, comfort food, or something that makes you just feel good or happy. And sadly for me, that's treats and whatnot. But like most things in life, it's about balance. So I just try my best to eat as well as I can. There's some times where I am worse than I should be, and there's sometimes I'm fantastic. So it's tough. It really is. I want to point out too that everyone's body is unique, and therefore some diets work differently from person to person. So if vegan or whatever isn't right for you, then just do what is right for you and your body. Listening to your body is a big deal, and especially in terms of food. So um, you can even keep like a diary or a journal of like stuff you ate, and if like you get agitated, write it down, and just don't have that kind of thing. It's a chore to do that, but it helps in the end. Now, as I mentioned in my last video, I often have to miss out on playing with my niece and nephews. And often the reason for this isn't just so cut and dry, since I have loose joints and my ligaments and tendons don't function as they should, which is why our joints are hypermobile. Um, and our muscles basically have to pick up the slack on top of doing their duty on top of that. Um, I often don't let them jump on me or pull on my arms or legs and such. I have actually had several partial dislocations because I played with them, and boys can get rough. But I love them, and like they were my own kids. And it's really hard saying no. Especially when they're just those sweet little faces and whatnot. So, but I don't much anymore play with them, especially as they're getting older. It's getting tougher. So I try to play with them other ways, like video games or whatnot. So while I'm on the subject of children, another thing I will say that I have struggled with for a long time, and when I mean a long time, I mean since I was around 19 years old, which is almost 20 years ago. And it is exactly this, that having kids, I love kids. I love kids, okay? But I've even had the pleasure of helping to raise my sister's kids, and it was such a blessing and an amazing experience. But when I was 19 years old, I was told that I have had Marfan syndrome. Now, I don't have Marfan's. It was just misdiagnosed at the time. But Marfan's is passed genetically. It's a dominant gene, and there is at least a 50% chance of passing it to your kids. What's potentially worse is your kids can either have it easier if they get it, they can have it the same level as you, or they can have it much, much worse than their parents. So EDS is the same in that regard. so you can kind of see why I struggled with this dilemma. I mean, ultimately, I still want to have kids if I ever get married, because they are really a wonderful blessing, and they just melt your heart, and just they they're just good to have, and just that love that comes with it. So I just wanted to say that. So lastly, I want to go over um, being your own advocate. I often struggle to push harder for my own treatments or medications because, well, I'm kind of a pushover. I'm no expert, and they are. So it's kind of hard to. But here's the thing. In the end, that does not matter. What matters is you asking for what you need. What worst that sorry. What matters is what you need. The worst that can happen is that the doctors will tell you no. And if you're not okay with that, then lean on one of your other doctors and so on, or try to get a referral for another opinion and whatnot. I know though, like for me, for example, my insurance is crap, so I am stuck with whatever doctor I get. But if my tests and X-rays or MRIs and such all show that I have problems, then I am validated in asking for treatments. Don't just take everything they say at face value. I get the age crap constantly, like, oh, you're too young to be this sick or to have your condition this advanced and so on. But that doesn't matter, because your body isn't going to be like, oh, I forgot I'm young, let me fix that for you. It's not how it works. I even still to this day struggle with two of my doctors refusing to officially label me as hypermobile EDS, because they'd rather me get genetic testing to definitively say so. But here's the catch. No geneticist out here wants to take me because they don't take EDS patients. I mean, come on. So instead, my doctors just write joint hypermobility. I have ruled out things like Marfan's through genetic testing, but they refuse, and so explaining it to any new doctors really sucks, essentially, because I have to, like, no, it's not this, it's really this, they label this. So what I'm getting at is, don't get steamrolled over. Push for your well-being, your pain, and your peace of mind, because it matters. You matter. We all matter. Okay? Don't just take it for face value. Be your own advocate. Okay? Now, will you always get what you are pushing for? Maybe not. Okay? I know I don't, but I'd still push, and that's important. And don't let that stop you ever from advocating for what you feel you need to feel better. Because if you aren't your own advocate, it's likely nobody else will. So it's very important. I do want to say one last thing. While I have a lot of trials and struggles, I know there are others out there who have it way worse than I do. But again, I'm just sharing my story, my struggles, and I try to always keep this perspective to help keep me humble and to appreciate the fact that I could have it much worse than I do. And it is still okay to have pity or sorrow for yourself. Just because someone has it worse, you are allowed to feel like life sucks or it's not fair. We all have struggles or trials, some obviously harder than most. But again, this is why I want to share my story, to help bring people together, to help you know you are not alone in your struggles, and that you are loved for who you are. Um, so guys, that's it for this video. I hope I have talked what I have talked about has helped you. Below, I'm going to put some links to things like the weighted blanket I use, as well as a really nice pillow for those who sleep on their side and also suffer from joint problems. If there's anything I talked about you would like me to get more into detail about, or have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And please, if you like this video, hit like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.